Have you ever heard the saying, you can't have your cake and eat it too? Of course you have. I'm Todd. Welcome to another episode of Christian Capitalism. Today we're going to talk about that. That statement often means that you can't take two things that are diametrically opposed and have them at the same time. In other words, some people would say that you cannot have, for example, money for retirement put aside and yet still have the money to put into a vacation rental to enjoy and make memories. Today I'm going to talk about that because I believe that's a mistruth in a lot of ways. Today we're going to talk about, and I'll share a story with you today of something that I personally did. Most of the time I'm sharing stories of people that I've worked with and things we've done. Today is my own personal story about a couple of transactions that we did that really cleared this up for me. Sometimes you can eat your cake and still have it, in a manner of speaking. About probably 15 years ago, my family and I, we went and we purchased a camp on Toledo Bend. It was a waterfront property. It was an old camp. It was actually a mobile home, and it had built over it, so it's nothing fancy. But the way the lot was designed, it lent itself towards putting another mobile home on it that could be rented out. It also lent itself towards putting a camper hookup. So we were able to have a camp, have a place that we went every weekend. I can't tell you the memories and the pictures and things that we got during that period of time. And actually, it was very much like a matching 401k. And let me explain that. I'll call it a matching 401 cabin. Because most people think they'll put money into retirement and the company matches and they have to put the money there. So they automatically believe that there's no way that they can afford to have a second home. But you have to think outside the box. I think it's important you work with teams that get that understand that. A lot of times the things that they make you believe out there in their marketing are just flat out not true. Sometimes you can have your cake and eat it too, so to speak. In this particular case, when we rented out the mobile home that we put on the property and also rented out the RV spots, it basically, some months paid for the note, sometimes half the note. But as you can see, it was almost like we had a company matching our investments for what we were putting. Now, unlike the 401k, we literally could enjoy it now. It wasn't money that was locked away and hopefully I don't die before I get to enjoy it when I retire. So it was getting to do more than one thing at one time. We made a lot of family memories. We bonded. And at the same time, what I did is years later, when I thought the time was right, we actually sold that property. And we did it because we were under the Trump tax codes. Capital gains were a lot less, and we also believed the interest rates were low, and it was just a good time to maximize it. So when we sold it, we actually made money. And that money is then to be put into other projects and other properties that we bought. So I want to share that with you. And you work with a team that understands holistic economic life planning. They have to think deeper. You know, you just can't do what everybody else is doing. We're all individuals, and that might not work for everybody. Not everybody wants a second home or a place to go. But you have to diversify regardless. You can't have, and I was telling a friend of mine earlier, I said, you know, a gumbo is good because it has so many different ingredients that come together to make what is called a good gumbo. And pepper is a very big ingredient in that. But you can't just put pepper and have anything that's good. It takes all the ingredients, and that's why you have to understand real estate can be, for some people, a big part of that. So I'm going to tell you something else that often hits me. Sometimes you hear about ideas and people say, well, look, if something, it sounds too good to be true. It just can't be true if it sounds too good. Imagine in 1940, we would have gone to somebody and said, you know, one day they're going to have this little thing called an iPhone. And we explained to them all of the different things that you could do with it. I believe there probably would have been a good percentage of people that would have said, well, that's just too good to be true. That will never happen. You have to think outside the box, but more importantly, don't be alone. Have people like you that think outside the box, working together. The team that I use, that I refer people to, we all have different gifts. And like a good gumbo, they all come together to devise a plan. So if what you heard today sounds good to you, reach out to us, help@capitalplanningteam.com, subscribe, like, share with us. In addition, Christian Capitalism, you can look under Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and just reach out to us. We want to stay in touch. We want to have a conversation that costs nothing. When you do, you'll get a copy of my book, Money Help. And I'll leave you with this. as I said earlier in Todd's 10 to Win, the number one thing is to partner with God, bring Him into your plans. And one of the others is to pay yourself first. And I want to make clear something. When you pay yourself first and you take that 20 cents out of the first dollar and it goes into savings, just remember that a portion of that should go to your favorite charity too. And it's just something I constantly have to remind myself to do. We never give enough. So I'll leave you with Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. God bless.